Hey, this is Ralph, and in this video I want to demonstrate part 1 of our assignment 7, which is an Excel SAM project. And I'm picking on part 1 just because one of your classmates asked about this, so really want to give it a try. Now I'm already in student view, and I think this is how I can go ahead and start it up here, so it should look pretty similar to your view. And yep, I'm going to go ahead and start this assignment. And I'm going to go ahead and open up the instruction file. That's a Word document, nothing tricky about that. And I'm just going to minimize that for now. And I'm going to open up the starting Excel file. That's where we'll be spending most of our time. Now that opened up on one of my other monitors, so let me drag that over here. I'm going to click Enable Editing, and then I'm going to do File, Save As, and I'm going to make sure I put the little number 2 in the file name. And oh, you know what? I'm going to save to my desktop. I like to do that, so let's, come on. Make sure my computer's not going to flake out on me here. It's acting a little temperamental lately. All right, let me just pause while this gets resolved. Okay, I think I'm back in business. So that's saved. I got a documentation sheet, which has a lot of nothing on it. And I've got this sales sheet where I'll probably be spending most of our time. And I've used this assignment in multiple classes before, so I am familiar that there could be some tricky things going on here. So we're definitely going to make sure we hit this carefully. Now let's see. I'm going to open up the Word file. I'll do Enable Editing on that. I'm going to press my Windows right arrow key. That'll put that over there. And I can click on this Excel, put that over there. I'm going to make the Excel just a little bit larger and the Word a little bit smaller. I know that makes that font pretty tiny there, but let me go ahead and zoom in just a little bit so we can read that better. And I'll do my work over here on the Excel side. Okay, now I've already done the file name thing. Double check. Cool, that's saved. That looks good. And I'm going to run through these project steps, and I'm just going to see what's in store here. Okay, about 14 steps, and when I'm done, it's going to show kind of how my worksheet should look. It should look really close to that. And I can see we've got some rotated text over there. We've got some, all right, I forgot what those were called. Those little inline charts. What are those called again? Insert Sparklines. Yeah, Sparklines. I don't use those too much in real life, but your book is really fond of Sparklines. All right, well, let's get to work, and let's just tackle these one by one and see where the trickiness might show up. So, little background story on the scenario we've got. Go to the sales worksheet. I'm there. Rename the sales worksheet as Sales and Dividends, which is a more accurate name. I'm just going to double click on the little Sales Sheet tab at the bottom, and I'm going to write Sales and Dividends. I mentioned before, and I've already misspelled it, dividends. I mentioned before that I have had students misspell these sheet tabs, and if you misspell a sheet tab, it can mess up a whole bunch of stuff. So just be very careful about your spelling whenever you have to type something out like that. Cool, press enter to accept. Oh, that takes care of step 1. I'm going to cross that out, strike it out, just so we can see that that's done. Number 2, unfreeze column A so it is not displayed when you scroll horizontally. So if I scroll horizontally, you can see column A kind of stays frozen there. It doesn't matter where my insertion point is, but I can go to the View ribbon, Freeze Panes, Unfreeze Panes, and that takes care of step 2. Step 3, middle align the contents of the merged cell A1. So if I click on cell A1, that's weird. Okay, so anyway, click on cell A1. It's kind of weird. That's just a picture. See, I need to click on that blue part behind it. So it doesn't matter where I click on that blue part because it's already a merged cell A1 through I1. And but I can tell with the name box in the top left corner that I'm on cell A1. So that's where I need to be. Middle align the contents of the merged cell A1 to improve the appearance. So I'm going to head back to my home ribbon, and I believe middle align is this one right there. Yeah, so it's going to vertically center that text, middle align. All right, that skill was in one of those previous ones from our assignment 6, so that's why that one was pretty easy there because I remember doing that one. So that takes care of steps 2 and 3. Let's strike those out. In cell B3, go and activate B3. Okay, it's currently blank. Again, I'm using my name box because my sheet is so tiny here. I'm using my little name box in the top left corner to confirm that I'm on the cell that I think I'm on. In cell B3, insert a formula that uses the now function to display today's date. Now, when it comes to some of these really common functions, I typically do not go to my function dialog box. If you do, that's cool. What I'll do is I'll just type equals now, opening and closing parentheses. The now function, the today function, there's a couple functions that don't have any arguments inside of the parentheses. So, and then I can just click enter and it puts in that date. The now function gives you technically the date and the time, and the today function gives you the date only. Now, they've taken the date and the time and they've formatted, it's already been formatted to show only the date. So just looking at a cell like this, I don't know if someone typed in the date, if they use the now function, the today function, or the date function, or some other function. It's only when you click on it when you really see what's going on. But there it is. So that's step 4. Step 5, fill the range C6G10, C6G10. C6 through G10, all right, it's got all that data in there, with the formatting from the range of B6 through B10. Oh, I see, okay. So I'm going to select B6 through B10. So I'm selecting that formatting, then I'm going to use the format painter, I believe. Yeah. Format painter, and then I'm going to select C6 through G10. So now they all have the same consistent formatting. All right, that takes care of steps 4 and 5. I'm going to strike those out. And let's see, step 6. Lindsay wants to show the sales trend for each position and month from January to June. Alrighty, sounds like a nice thing to do. Provide the information as follows. In cell H6, I'm going to click on H6. Insert a line sparkline based on the data in the range B6, G6. Okay, so I'm activated that cell. I'm going to go to my insert ribbon, sparklines, and they wanted a line sparkline. The data range in question. Now, this is a little dialog box. Now, when I see my cell active in there, I can just run over here and I can select, let's make sure I get this right, B6, G6. So I can select B6 through G6, and it puts that range in there for me. And I don't think I need the location. Oh, the location range is put in there by default because that's where I was active, so that's good. And then I can click OK. Cool, there's my little sparkline. And use the fill handle right there, the lower right corner of an active cell marker is the fill handle. And fill the range H7 through H10. H7 through H10. I'm going to let go. All right, I get more spark lines without formatting. So as soon as I do that fill, I'm going to click this little options button, and I want to fill without formatting. That's important. There we go. And then what that does basically, it keeps the default, the original formatting of those cells. And you can tell, you know, they're alternating the light blue, medium blue, and of course my row 10, my total row, that's got that same formatting as the other totals. Cool, I feel good about that. Change the color of the spark lines in the range H6 through H10. Okay, let me select those again. Color of the spark lines. So let's see, I need to be on my sparkline ribbon, sparkline color, and it wants dark purple 2 something. Dark purple text 2. Let's see, 4th column, 1st row. Oh, there it is right there maybe. There it is, dark purple text 2. I'm going to click on that. All right, I guess they're a little bit darker. Show a high point and a low point in the spark lines to make those values easily. I cannot read all my text here, so let me just mouse over to the right a little bit. Show a high point and a low point in the spark lines to make those values easy to identify. How do we do that? Well, they're all selected, and I'm just kind of looking over all the options in my sparkline ribbon, and look at this. I can show a high point and a low point. I don't know if I've ever done that before. I feel like maybe I haven't done this exact assignment. But but I've done similar ones. Okay, high point and low point. It's kind of neat. Make those values. All right, that's good. Looks like it did it. It put little dots on there, so I guess it's doing its thing. Copy the formula in cell I6. Okay, there's a formula in there, and it looks like a simple sum formula. And I can Control-C to copy that and paste it in the range I7 through I10, pasting only the formula in number formatting. So I'm going to do a Control-V as in Victor to paste. I'm going to look at my little options here, and it says, what does it want? Paste only the formula and the number formatting. Okay, so I'm going to look at my choices here. Formulas, and there it is. So it's that third option there. It always, you don't see this, it doesn't come through on my recorder, but my pointer arrow on my computer, I have it sized insanely big, and it covers up the screen tip a bit. So I always have to look. So you're probably wondering, why is he having to stare so long at that screen tip to see if it's right? It's because it's hiding under my my blue arrow that I've got. All right, so formulas and number formatting, that's the one I want. Cool. All right, that takes care of steps 6 and 7. I believe there was 14 steps, which means we're halfway through. Okay, Lindsay. Oh, you notice I still have the little dancing ants around there selected. If I press, if I'm active on there and I press the escape key on my keyboard, there we go, that deselects that. Doesn't hurt anything at the moment, but remember the escape key is good for getting out of that kind of stuff. Step 8. Lindsay wants to determine how the sales of each month contribute to the total sales. Sounds like a percentage. In cell B13, all the way down here, there's cell B13. Okay. Insert a formula without using a function that divides the total sales for January by the total sales to date, B10 divided by I10. Okay. Equals, and I could just type this in, B10 divided by I10. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now I'm kind of thinking ahead though. They're probably going to want to do that for these other months too. I'm willing to bet I10 is probably supposed to be an absolute reference. Now it doesn't tell me to do that though. Oh, never mind. There it is. Use an absolute reference to cell I10 in the formula. So while my insertion point is still there, I can press F4 key on my Windows machine, makes that an absolute reference. There we go. Enter. Use the fill handle. There it is. Copy that over. With the to fill the range, see through with the formula. Okay. Yeah, I think it did it. Let's click away. Yeah, it looks pretty good to me. And if I select these, and if I look down in my auto calc area, which is probably tough for you to see, I see that sum's 100%, which makes sense. These are all portions of the total, and all portions are accounted for, so there's 100%. Nice. Number 9. Lindsay also needs to calculate the dividends each month. If the company earns $200,000 or more in a month, the dividend is 35% of sales. I know I've done an assignment like this before, and I know this is a tough one. So I think I'm going to get to a point to where maybe one or two of you have made a mistake on it. But let's see if I can't point it out to you. Okay, I'm definitely done with step 8, so let me go ahead and strike that out. That's underline, Ralph. Let's strike it. There it is. Okay. If the company earns $200,000 more in a month, so this is going to be an if function, okay? And it tells us that right down here. So in cell B17, B17, is that it? Yep, there's B17. Enter a formula that uses the if function. So I'm going to write this out. I know this is going to be really tiny, but equals if, parentheses. I want to check to see if the sales for January, B10, if B10 is greater than or equal to 200,000. Here's where the mistake I've seen before with students. If you do only the greater than sign, it's going to count you wrong. So this is greater than or equal to. So I know it's really small, but I've got B10 greater than equal to 200,000. No commas, no dollar signs in that 200,000. But it's leaving out that equal sign where I've seen students get a little bit mixed up on that one. Now I do a comma. Now what if that's true? Well, if sales are greater than 200,000, then I need to take B10 and multiply it by 0.35. You could do 0.35, and that's no big deal. Comma. Now, if that's false, then I'm going to take B10 and multiply it by 0.27, closing parentheses. So if function has three main parts to it, the logical test, and here's B10 greater than equal to 200,000, comma. If it's true, B10 times 0.35. If it's false, B10 times 0.27. All right. I can press enter now. Okay, and then use the fill handle to calculate the dividends through June. All right, and then I can just drag that over to June. Cool. Now, one way to find out if it's relatively accurate is we can look. I can look at my picture here, and these are super tiny. However, I see January 77,861.20. That's what I've got. And then April is like 45,218. 45,218. Cool. So at least those are working right. So I'm feeling pretty confident about those calculations. Okay, so that looks like step 9 is done. That is probably one of the trickier ones that you have to deal with here. Change the sparklines in the range H17 to H18 as follows to use a more meaningful format. Change the column sparklines to line sparklines. So I'm going to head into my sparkline ribbon, and I see it's got column. I'm going to change it over to line. Okay, apply the sparkline style, dark gray, sparkline. Okay, so I'm going to go to my, sparkline style, not sparkline color. So I'm going to click on the excuse me, I'm going to click on the style drop down. Ooh, what do we got here? Third column, fifth row. Third column, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Dark gray, sparkline style, dark number 3. Nice. Click it. Okay. All right, that's step 10. Step 11. Lindsay would like to increase the average number of placements per month because executive placements are the most profitable. Lindsay wants to know how many executive placements she needs to reach the goal of 30 placements per month. Beats the hell out of me. Use GoalSeek to set the average number of placements. GoalSeek is kind of interesting, right? I think you saw a little tutorial video that I had on YouTube about doing some GoalSeek. All right, use GoalSeek to set the average number of placements for all positions. All right, let me reread this because I don't know if I retained that very well. I'd like to see an increase in the average number of placements per month because executive placements are the most profitable. Lindsay wants to know how many executive placements she needs. So there should be a place on here for executive placements. Looks like I-27 or something. Here we go. All right. And there's a blank. We got to probably fill that in. Use GoalSeek to set the average number of placements for all positions. Cell I-27. There it is. Okay. I was a little thrown off. When I click on I-27, we can see that it's using the average. So that's an average, but it's a little misleading because the row label over there is total. Well, okay, cool. So we got the average over there to the value 30 by changing the average number of executive placements, cell I-23. Okay, I think I got it. So again, it doesn't matter where you click. I'm going to stay on I-27 because that's like the last one or that's the one that I wanted to look at, but you could click on others. However, now I'm going to head over to the data ribbon, and then I'm going to go to the what if analysis, and then I'm going to go to GoalSeek. I'm going to put this right over here just so I can kind of see it. Okay, so I'm going to set cell I-27. That's already in there because that's where I was active. If it wasn't, I would have put it in there, to value 30, right? Yep, to a value 30. by changing cell I-23. I can type in I-23, or I can just click on I-23 and it'll put it in there for me. Notice it did absolute reference. That shouldn't hurt anything. I'm going to click OK. It's thinking. A little slower than I would have expected, but still working. So cool, it's done. I can click OK now. So what that did for me is it determined that I needed 35 executive placements mixed with these other values in order to get to an average placements of 30. I know that seems that's probably weird and cumbersome. There's probably some business students where, okay, maybe this is a little bit easier to absorb. But yeah, that goal seek kept us from having just to guess. Basically, let me delete that for a moment. My average placements is 28. What do I need to do to get those average placements up to 30? Well, and I can't mess with these numbers, so I have to type in a number. Well, I know if I do 28, the average is going to be 28 because that didn't change anything. So what if I had an average, what if I put 30 in there by hand? It gives me to an average of 29. All right, what if I typed 32 by hand? It gets me still to an average of 29. What if I did 34? Ooh, now I'm at 30. Okay, what if I did 36? Or 38? It's too high. Let's go back to 34. So basically, I'm typing in numbers, lower, higher, higher, lower. I'm guessing in order to get to that total that I want. Well, that's exactly what Excel is doing. Excel is going through different iterations in order to find the total I want. Now, I believe it came up with 34. I bet if I showed decimals, this is probably like 20. Yeah, it's probably like a low decimal or something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that again. I'm going to do goal seek again. So data ribbon, what if analysis, goal seek. I'm going to set cell I-27 to the value of 30 by changing cell I-23. Click OK. Notice it's going through these iterations. It's testing things out. And once it hits on a target, I can click OK, and it's telling me 35 is the best number for that scenario. That's what that goal seek is doing. All right. I think that takes care of steps 10 and 11. Number 12, format the text in cell J22. Oh, J22, is there anything in there? Ah, there it is, J22. To clarify what it refers to as follows, merge and center range J22 to J27. So I'm going to select J22 to J27, and I'm going to go home. And what does it want me to do? Just merge and center. That's the default action I recall. So I could click on the drop down for the alignment merge button here. Merge and center. Got it. Rotate the text down to -90 degrees. Okay, that cell is active. And I think, here it is. Format cell alignment. I'm going to click on that. All right, and I want -90 degrees. I think I can just type that in. -90? Yeah, so -90. I just typed it in, but you could have also just drug this up and down. That would have worked. Or use those little arrows. All right, I'm going to click OK. Change the width of column J to a 6. So if I go to that column J, right click on that column J, column width, I get my column width, type a 6, enter, good. Delete row 35, poor row 35. Okay, I'm going to click on the row 35 number, that selects the row. All right, right click on it and delete it. Good, just click somewhere else. That takes care of steps 12 and 13. Where's my strike it? There it is. All right, last but not least, step number 14. Lindsay also wants to compare the estimated sales of July and December. Insert a chart that provides this information as follows. Create a clustered column chart based on the non-adjacent ranges A22 to B26, G22 to G26. Always best to select your data first. It says non-adjacent. I tend to use the term non-contiguous. Same thing, basically. So basically, there's a range of cells over here, and there's a range of cells over there that we want in our chart, and these two ranges are not part of one unit. They're not touching each other. Non-adjacent, non-contiguous. So So Alaska and Hawaii are not in the contiguous United States. They're non-contiguous. All right, let's see. Where am I doing here? So I want A22 to B26. So I'm going to select A22 to B26. Okay, I just did that with my mouse. So I've selected A22 to B26. Then I'm going to hold down the Control key on my keyboard, and I'm going to Control key is held down, and then I'm going to select G22 to G26. Control key is still down. G22 to G26. Let go of the mouse. Let go of the Control key. Those two non-adjacent ranges are selected. And I head over to Insert, and it wants a clustered column chart. So I'm going to go to Column Charts, which is right there. Click the drop down. I happen to know from experience that clustered column is that top left one. Click it. Enter estimated sales as the chart title. Okay, so let me click on that title. This is an easy place for someone to make a typing mistake, so I'm going to go slow. Estimated space sales colon space July space and space December. Estimated sales colon July and December. Resize and reposition the chart so its upper left corner is in cell A35. Okay, so basically I'm going to take this chart. Now when I move it, I'm going to click in a blank area, so I get that four-way arrow, and it wants the top left corner in cell A35, and its lower right corner is in cell E49. So E49. All right, I think that's good. Change the chart layout to layout 2. Now I'm just going to click once on my chart to make sure it's active, and I'm on my chart design ribbon. I can see that up there, and it wants change the chart layout to layout number 2. Okay, so let's see what we have here. I do see there's a quick layout option. Now if I click on that, is there layout number 2? Lo and behold, I'm going to click that. I don't know what it did different. I guess it did something. I didn't really look to see what it looked like before, but I think it worked. Your workbook should look like the final figures. All right, so that's nice. So I'm going to cross this out. I think that's good. Should look like the final picture. So there's my chart. Looks pretty darn good. Let's just click away. All right, I like that. Scroll up a little. Yeah, that all looks the same. All right, I'm feeling good about this. Feeling really good about it. Okay, let me hit my save button. Rookie mistake. I haven't saved since I started. All right, got that. Let's head back over to the browser. I don't need that anymore. And let's see, I'm going to continue. Click here to upload. I need to go to my desktop. And I think this is it. Double click it. Submit it. Green check marks all around. Graded summary report. I'm going to open that up. And, oh, there we go. Enable editing. There we go. 100 out of 100. It's doable. So, yeah. So there's the report. Obviously, if there was something wrong in this report, I would I would move the report off to the side. I'd see what was wrong. And what I would do is I'd go back to my working document, the one with the little number 2 there, and I would try to fix that up and see what's going on. So, all right, so thank you for hanging out with me, and that is part 1 of our Assignment 7 Excel. I think the trickiest thing that I've seen from people is that if function for getting that equal sign. One of your classmates had asked me about this particular part of the assignment. That was not her issue, but I can't remember what it is, so I will respond to her directly and tell her what part of this video kind of addressed that. So, cool. Thanks. Talk to you later.